highlights of what you're working on for the rest of this year. What do you got going for the rest? And I mean the calendar year.
Yeah, so a few things that we are working on as a legislative body is we're going to have vetoes. The governor vetoed a number of line items with the budget that came out. I think it was finally signed July 31st.
Okay.
So we'll be meeting in session to kind of go over that soon.
So what do you do when the governor
when the governor vetoes certain line items in
wanted?
the budget? So we're going to meet and look at them and say, okay, do we override the governor's vetoes on some of these things?
And you can do that.
And we could do that, yeah.
As the whole body.
As a whole body, yeah.
You could vote to override.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And for example, like South Shore Community Action Council,
Yep.
they will cut some money.
Okay.
That's really going to hurt them throughout the next several months. So I'm working with them to say, okay, what do we need to do to restore that? So we'll be working to help get that override veto. You can get that money back, yeah. Yeah.
But isn't the budget, the total amount has already been voted on?
The total amount has already been voted on, and then what happened through the House and the Senate, so that's been approved.
Yep.
The governor signed the budget, but before she signed the budget, she sent over vetoes.
Okay.
Now the vetoes were sent over to the House and Senate in August when we were on vacation.
Okay.
So
But those totals were included. The totals of the line items that were vetoed were included in the total budget. Okay.
Yes.
So you're not asking for more. You're just asking for something that was already in there. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But we could also increase that too.
Okay.
Because she may, and I haven't looked at it totally because there's a lot of things that were taken out. But if there were money that was reduced down, then yes, we could put it back in.
Okay.
We can put it down, and we have till we break in November to do that.
Okay.
To override some of those vetoes. So I suspect we're going to be doing that very shortly.
Okay.
We also have the gun bill that everyone's been talking about over the summer.
Yeah. Can you just really quickly?
Yeah.
What does that bill state?
There was a bill by Chair Michael Day.
Yep.
Who chairs Judiciary. And that came out early summer, I think. Well, he did a listening tour throughout the state through the winter and the spring. And he came back with this comprehensive bill for gun safety.
All right.
And what happened is it kind of exploded with everybody. We never have received so many emails on this. People just saying it's gone way too far.
What is the premise of the bill?
So there's a whole bunch. It's 146 pages.
Oh,
so
okay.
there's a whole thing. But
so what bullet point?
The thing that really bothered people is that, and it's not a Democrat or Republican thing.
Right.
It's a lot of people conceal.
Yep.
And they'll go to restaurants, they'll go to stores, and they just carry it with them. A big part of this bill was you wouldn't be able to conceal a gun anymore.
Okay.
So if you went into a restaurant, it would be against the law to do that. Right now, if we have a law that says you can actually conceal and go anywhere.
And this is if you have a permit.
If you have to have it legally. Yeah, all legally.
Yeah.
You have to have it legally, and you can go into any sort of store, restaurant, whatever.
Yeah.
Unless the store posts, no guns allowed.
Okay.
Do you ever see that? You don't.
You don't.
So the law was going to reverse that to say, restaurant have to say guns allowed. Who's going to do that?
Yeah, who's going to do that?
So people were, and again, I probably heard from more Democrats than they did Republicans in Plymouth about that.
Right.
So that was a big part of it. But to the speaker's credit, he heard from all the legislators. We had a 2-day listening session with the speaker.
Yeah.
And he heard from all of us. So we pulled it back. So we're not going to vote on it this summer.
Okay.
We'll revise the bill.
Yep.
But the biggest thing we heard from those listening sessions with my colleagues was the inner city legislators. And really upset with the bill because it doesn't deal with illegal guns.
Oh.
And that's the issue.
That's the issue.
99% of all killings in Massachusetts, murders with guns, are illegal guns.
Okay.
And that's what we need to get to the crux of it.
Right.
And my Democratic colleagues were saying that's exactly what they were saying.
Sure.
We need to get to the crux of that.
That's the problem.
The issue.
That's the problem.
That's the issue.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so it was interesting, yeah. We also have a nursing home bond bill we're looking at and a housing bond bill and some other things. But those are the big
housing,
things.
can we touch on that for a sec?
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge issue.
Has been for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the governor's credit, she has put together a housing department that's separate from economic affairs. So that's now separate. So it's a housing secretary now, housing czar, just looking at housing.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot more bond money coming out.
Okay.
It's all about building more houses and building more affordable
Affordable.
houses.
That's the hope. That word is so.
That's the issue.
That's critical.
That's the issue. What we're seeing now, at least in Plymouth, what I'm seeing, there's some vacancies happening in Plymouth now in apartments, or around the area actually, because they're too much.
Of course they are.
So people can't afford them.
Right.
So I think, and that's what happens when you create the supply, and more than enough supply. I mean, more than enough, the demand will go down.
Right.
So then the prices actually go down.
They're going to
as well.
have to go down. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A
We're
lot of
getting there,
people
but
are
I think
waiting to see that.
we're a good 2 to 3 years, I think, away from that. But there's everyone's focused on it. It's housing and transportation, the biggest issues to
Okay.
keep the economy going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.